And in this context, let's take our signal to our headquarters in Caracas with our colleague Ana Marrero to have more details, as she has a very special guest with her to talk about this important election that's going to be held in Venezuela this Sunday. Hello, Ana. Welcome to This from the South.
Hello, Luis, and hello to our audience from the South. We are here in Caracas with our special guest, Mr. David McDonald Denny. He's here with us in From the South with a special interview about the elections that are being held tomorrow here in Venezuela. Hello, Mr. David Denny. How are you?
I'm fine, and I'm very happy to be here with you.
Thank you very much. Well, we can start with this interview.
Thanks.
Okay. The first question will be, like, in what context the elections takes place, and of course the part that are going to be the first time regional elections from the Venezuelan side in Guyana.
Well, my organization, the Caribbean Move for Peace and Integration, endorsed this position by Venezuela to hold an election in that section of Guyana, because we see this as part of an integration process for the government and people of Venezuela. We also see this as a process that would allow genuine independence for the people who are living there, because we are totally against ExxonMobil, which is backed by US imperialism. We are totally against them in terms of the mining in Guyana, because we feel that there should be a greater level of discussion between Venezuela and Guyana as it relates to this area, rather than US imperialism enforcing themselves on the people of Guyana and the people of Venezuela, and also threatening the government and people of Venezuela with military maneuvers in that area.
Yeah, and also you came here to Venezuela as an observer of these elections. Can you tell us a little bit of context of these and how you came here to the country to observe these elections? Okay,
the Caribbean Move for Peace and Integration have a very good working relationship with the United Socialist Party of Venezuela, and the party invited us as an international observer, and we are very happy to be here to be in Venezuela to participate in this process, because when I return to Barbados and the Caribbean, I will be in a better position to report to the people of Barbados and the Caribbean about the positive nature of this election in Venezuela. So far, I had the opportunity of participating in rallies and talking to Venezuelan people on the streets. And tomorrow, election day, we'll get the opportunity where we'll be able to visit a number of the polling stations, and I will speak with several of the political parties there at the polling stations. I will also get an opportunity to speak with the people in Venezuela, so that when I go back to Barbados, I can honestly report on the election in Venezuela that not only means a lot to the people of Venezuela, but the entire Caribbean region.
Yeah, and also here in Venezuela, we have a fight against the fake news and the harsh news that have been made about these elections, about here's no democracy, about here's all manipulated, but here's democracy because the people are directly voting, they're secretly voting for what they want. So what can you tell us about this situation, because we can see and we have seen that we have here a clear method of vote. You know, we have a clear way of decide ourselves for what we want, but the fake news are saying the opposite.
Yeah, you're correct, because the Western media is spreading a lot of misinformation about the situation in Venezuela in terms of the conditions and in terms of the electoral process in Venezuela. That's why it is so important for us in the Caribbean to have representatives here at this, as international observers, so that we can properly report to our region about the situation in Venezuela. And I must say that the Western media is spreading a lot of negative and fake news about the situation in Venezuela. And we have to find a way to reach our people, especially in the English-speaking Caribbean, so that they will better understand what is happening in Venezuela, because Venezuela is one of our sister countries, and Venezuela is a nation that have always stand in solidarity with our region.
Yeah, and we go back to Guyana, because what's the significance do you grant to these elections in Venezuela, taking into account that this will be the first time the territory of Guyana Essequiba will exercise the right to the vote?
Well, as I mentioned just now, I told you that this electoral process in Guyana is very important for that area, because it creates the condition for the people in that area to have representation in your National Assembly, one. Two, it also creates the conditions for the people to develop the region as part of Venezuela and as an independent state away from some kind of exploitation by U.S. imperialism. So it's really a people's election that is taking place in Guyana, and my organization, the Caribbean Movement for Peace and Integration, fully endorsed that process.
Yeah, and now we can move to another important topic, which is the solidarity that Venezuela has taken with the Palestinian cause, with Haiti, and also with Burkina Faso, because it's been a sister nation with those countries.
Well, let me say, as I mentioned, Venezuela is one of the leading countries in our region that express solidarity to Caribbean people. When Haiti finds itself in a crisis situation immediately after a major earthquake, it is Venezuela that went into Haiti and helped with the constructing of houses in Haiti for the Haitian people. Cuba have always been there also to extend solidarity with the Haitian people in the area of medicine and academic scholarships. So I fully endorse your solidarity with the Haitian people. Venezuela have also offered academic scholarships to the children of Palestine. You have sent solidarity materials to Palestine. You have stand in full solidarity with the people of Palestine against what is happening to the people of Palestine. And I was very happy to know that Venezuela also have developed a working relationship with the president of Burkina Faso, because when President Maduro visited Russia just a couple of weeks back, both presidents met, and I think that was a very important meeting, because Africa is right now boiling, and the African society is moving in a progressive direction, and we need to develop South-South relationships. And I think that Venezuela can lead that process for our region, because I remember when Venezuela led the process against the free trade areas of the Americas and created a space for our region against that agreement, and you created the Bolivarian alternative, and then you created the Petro-Caribbean agreement that would have benefited many of our Caribbean nations. So for me, this solidarity work from Venezuela is very, very important, especially for small nations in our Caribbean region, so that we are very happy to work with Venezuela. We are very happy for the work that Venezuela is doing in terms of solidarity with Africa, Asia, the Caribbean, and we are very happy with this kind of work, and it's very important work. So for our movement in Barbados, we stand in full support of the government and people of Venezuela And we are also happy to know that you can do that kind of solidarity work that can help the poor and powerless people of the world.
Yeah, and something to, it's like common to ask, but the relations between Venezuela and Barbados.
Well, so far I can say that, that Venezuela and Barbados have very good relationships because Venezuela have an embassy in Barbados. Barbados have an embassy in Venezuela, so they're very good working relationships. Venezuela and Barbados have started some trade, in the agriculture industry. So there's some trade relationship between Barbados and Venezuela. There's there's a airplane or travel arrangement between Barbados and Venezuela on Saturdays and Wednesday, where Conviesta visits Barbados and bring people from Barbados to Venezuela and people from Venezuela to Barbados. So in terms of people-to-people contact and working relationship, that's a very good relationship. So for me, I think that there are very, very good relationships between the government and people of Barbados, and Venezuela. And that's something very good.
Well, with these last questions, we have come to the end of this interview, Mr. David, but we were glad to have you here in our program. Thank you very much.
Thank you also, and I'm very happy to be here.
Well, we'll be back to La Habana, Cuba, with From the South and Luis Alberto Matos. We're back to you.
Thank you, Anna, and of course, thank you to your special guest for all this information, all the inputs on this historical day that is going to happen tomorrow in Venezuela, as Venezuelans would vote in these regional and legislative elections. Let's now take our first short break. Remember, you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. We're going to be right back. Stay with us.